right, Amazon. Give us a flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News. Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. Workers at the two largest rail unions in the nation say they're split over ratifying a tentative contract they reached in September. The deal would have given workers a 24% raise over 5 years. The two sides are hoping to avert a rail strike early next month. Authorities in Colorado say they're working to learn more about a deadly shooting this weekend at an LBGTQ nightclub. The attack left at least 5 people dead and dozens of others injured. Colorado Springs Police Chief Adrian Vasquez tells NPR that an investigation is underway.
For everybody and not care what people are doing.
Tirelessly to conduct interviews, contact family members and other witnesses. So hopefully we'll know a little bit more later this morning.
Authorities arrested a 22-year-old suspect shortly after the attack. He's expected to face a number of charges, including first-degree murder. More controversy at the World Cup in Qatar today. Several European national soccer teams announced their team captains would not wear armbands promoting diversity because they feared punishment by tournament organizers. NPR's Tom Goldman reports from Doha.
A number of teams planned for their captains to wear rainbow armbands with the words "One Love" to promote LGBTQ
that's what I'm
rights.
talking
Homosexuality
about.
is illegal.
They done
in
jumped
Qatar.
on the One
But now
Love.
the European
Nice.
countries have decided against it, saying FIFA, soccer's international governing body,
It's
threatened
One
the
Love.
captains with yellow cards,
It's more than
which
just gay
increased
rights,
the risk
it's
of being
everybody.
ejected from a match. In a statement, the European countries said they were ready to pay fines, but, quote, "We cannot put our players in the situation where they might be booked or even forced to
Everybody
leave
can wear
the
One
field
Love
to play."
bracelets.
A group representing fans in England
about
and Wales
money thing.
blasted FIFA, saying, "Today we feel contempt for an organization that has shown its true values by giving the yellow card to players and the red card to tolerance." Tom Goldman, NPR News, Doha.
No problem wearing that.
Stocks opened
You wearing
mixed
them
on
bracelets,
Wall Street
kids.
today. NPR's
Wear your
Scott
bracelets,
Horsley
whatever
reports
makes
the
you-
Dow Jones Industrial
you,
Average rose
you know,
by about
liberty,
24
peace,
points in early
justice.
trading.
Wear your
Stock in
bracelets.
Disney jumped sharply this morning
One
after the
love.
company announced that former CEO Bob
One
Iger
heart,
will
one
return
world,
to
one
lead the
love.
entertainment giant 2 years after stepping down.
And
Disney
there should be
fired the man
one
who
dance
replaced
that
Iger
includes
just
everybody,
weeks after his disappointing
LBGTQ
earnings report.
and
The company's board chair says
freaking
Iger is
other people.
uniquely
It
situated
don't matter
to lead
if
Disney
you-
in what was described
you
as
know, put
increasingly
everybody in the
complex
dance.
times.
One love.
Gasoline prices are falling just in time for Thanksgiving road trips.
And if somebody
Triple A
does something at
reports
that
the
dance,
average
it's
price
affecting
of regular gas is
everybody,
now
not just
$3.66 a gallon.
people
That's
you put a
down
target
11
on by
cents from a
segregating
week
the
ago.
dance.
The drop in retail gas
But I know
prices
they got
comes as the
bars and
price of
stuff,
crude oil
gay
dipped
bars
below
and whatever,
$80
they
a
could be
barrel.
targeted
Scott Worsley,
and
NPR
all
News,
this.
Washington.
On Wall Street,
But
the
still,
Dow was up
it
13
should be
points.
acceptable enough
This is
that you got
NPR
gay
News.
people in the regular bar too. That's my personal opinion.
Government officials in
I know the world
Indonesia
can't deal
say
with
at
it,
least
but
56 people are dead after
it'd
a
be better off if they
5.6
could.
magnitude earthquake struck southeast of the capital, Jakarta. Hundreds of others were injured. In a statement, the National Disaster Agency says several homes, a hospital, and an Islamic boarding school in the region have been damaged. Authorities say more than a dozen aftershocks have been reported. The South African court has ordered former President Jacob Zuma back to jail. Kate Bartlett reports Zuma was released on medical parole last year after only serving a fraction of his sentence for contempt of court.
The Supreme Court of
understand why
Appeal
people don't
found that
understand
Zuma's
that.
release on medical grounds last
There was
year
gay
was
people before,
unlawful
too. You
and
know
that
what
he
they
should
did?
be returned
They
to
went to
jail.
the
The
freaking
former leader of South
dance
Africa
with
was
everybody
given a
else.
15-month
They got
prison
along with
sentence
everybody.
in 2021
Everybody hung out
for
together.
refusing to testify in an investigation into alleged corruption during
That's
his
the way it
time
should
in
be.
office. He served less than 2 months. Zuma's imprisonment sparked the worst violence in South Africa since apartheid, with more than 300 people killed
Don't
in
put a target on
rioting.
the people by
Despite the
segregating
court's
the
order,
dancers.
it's unclear whether Zuma, who was president for nearly a decade until 2018, will spend any more time in
The world
jail,
would
as
grow
he
up,
could
you'd
now take the
realize
matter
that.
to the Constitutional Court. For NPR News, I'm Kate Bartlett in Johannesburg.
One
The
love.
city in southern China has issued a lockdown to curb the latest outbreak of the coronavirus.
Mask,
Officials
no
in
mask.
Guangzhou have suspended public transit.
Vaccinated,
They're
not
requiring
vaccinated.
residents to present a
One
negative
love.
test
Love
if they
everybody.
want to leave
Hug the homeless
their homes.
person. I don't care.
You're
I'll give them
listening
food,
to
vaccinated or
NPR
not.
News in Washington.
Don't matter.
All this week on The Indicator from Planet Money, economic solutions to the climate crisis. We explain how
afraid to hook a
electric
homeless
vehicle
person
batteries
to
got
this
cheaper
day
and cheaper.
or during the
We
pandemic.
ask whether blue bonds can turn a country's
Amazon.
debt into a tool.
Skip. Quit shooting up the
In
schools,
NASA
dummies.
news. NASA will host a news conference
people
at
there.
5 p.m. EST today, Monday,
you won't
November
believe it or not.
21st, from the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston to discuss Orion's lunar flyby as part of the Artemis mission. NASA
Don't
has
take that as
selected Air
got a problem
Products
with
and
guns,
Chemicals
'cause I don't.
Incorporated of Allentown, Pennsylvania,
Please,
to
keep the
supply
guns.
33 million
They're for
liters of
protection.
liquid
They're for
helium to
hunting.
the agency's
The
Kennedy
world
Space
went back
Center
to
in
the
Florida.
Stone Ages, you would need it. And
NASA
you'd
has
need people to
awarded
know
a
how to use
6-month extension to AdNet Systems Incorporated of Bethesda, Maryland, for the Space and Earth Science Data Analysis CESDA 4 contract.
One meteor. You know how they fearmonger
Students
you?
from Maryland and
One
Oklahoma
meteor
will
hits
have the
down and wipes
opportunity
out
next
everybody.
week to hear from astronauts
You're gonna need
aboard
some
the
weapons.
International Space Station.
Wild animals, you know?
NASA will host a news conference at 5 p.m. EST Friday, November 18th, from the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston to preview Orion's entry into the moon's sphere of influence and the pair of maneuvers that will propel the spacecraft into a distant retrograde lunar orbit. In weather. In Seattle, it's 43 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can look for cloudy skies
God
with a
forbid
high
if there
of
was an
53
invasion in your
degrees and a
country.
low of 45
Weapon might be
degrees.
nice.
From NASA.
We all lived through the
NASA
Civil
will
War.
host a
We've
news
seen the
conference
movies
at
about
5
what they
p.m.
did.
EST today, Monday, November 21st, from the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston to discuss Orion's lunar flyby as part of the Artemis mission.
Military, we know what happened in Vietnam. All
NASA has selected Air Products
there's
and
bad
Chemicals
military everywhere,
Incorporated of
even to this
Allentown,
day.
Pennsylvania, to supply 33 million liters of
Victim had a
liquid
weapon.
helium to the
May not
agency's
go down
Kennedy
that way.
Space Center in Florida. NASA has awarded a 6-month extension to
break into
AdNet
houses.
Systems Incorporated of Bethesda,
Anyways.
Maryland, for the Space
My own
and Earth
personal
Science
opinion.
Data Analysis CESDA 4 contract.
Now, what else is
Students
the
from
news saying?
Maryland and Oklahoma will
Oh,
have the
NASA.
opportunity next week to hear from
Okay.
astronauts aboard the International Space Station.
Well, nobody else listening. It's only for the students
NASA will
there.
host a news conference at 5 p.m. EST Friday, November 18th,
That's a
from
joke.
the agency's Johnson Space Center in Houston to preview Orion's entry into the moon's sphere of influence and the pair of maneuvers that will propel the spacecraft into a distant retrograde lunar orbit. That's all for your flash briefing.
Well, I do feel briefly flashed, but you didn't give me the weather. Amazon. What's the weather in Kenmore, Washington? I want to know if it's going to be cold enough to snow. Amazon. What's the weather in Kenmore, Washington?
In Kenmore, Washington, it's 38 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can look for cloudy skies with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 38 degrees.
Well, sounds all right. Low of 32. Oh, tonight. It's going to be freezing tonight. Okay. Chicken's got a warm heater light. We're good. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
Why did the person cross the road? Because they've been hypnotized into thinking they were a chicken.
That made no sense at all. Somebody out there is laughing. Okay. Well, have a beautiful day wherever you are. Don't work too hard. Peace out.